So, hello everyone. In this video, we are going to start paper 1, unit 2. In unit 2, we will be doing the topic 2.1, which is basically culture. Highlight is nature of culture. Okay. In this 2.1, we are going to do certain topics. The first one is the nature of culture. Second is characteristics of culture. Third, we are going to deal with civilization and what it is, how it is related to culture, and etc. Fourth topic is ethnocentrism, and fifth topic is cultural relativism. See, as far as ethnocentrism is concerned, the moment you hear this word ethnocentrism, you should write a name, William Sumner. Okay, and when you hear this name, cultural relativism, you should remember the name Franz Boas. If there is any question which comes on ethnocentrism and cultural relativism, you should also remember the name of Elizabeth. She was basically she was basically a critic of both the thing. Okay, so we will be dealing with her in this particular topic. So moving forward, the first thing in this unit that we are going to deal is nature. But before that, we will discuss what is culture. So in the last video, I had told you the definition of culture, which is basically was given by E.B. Tyler. This definition of culture is widely accepted. Okay, this is universally accepted. So what is the definition which is given by E.B. Tyler? So culture is a complex whole of knowledge, art, belief, customs, morals, and all the other habits and capabilities which are acquired by human being as a member of society. Now this is a definition which is widely accepted. So if there is a question on culture, अगर कोई सिंपल क्वेश्चन आता है जिसमें कल्चर ये वर्ड भी मेंशन है, यू शुड नो कि रेलेवेंस क्या है, क्या वो कल्चर के बारे में पूछ रहा है. If it is asking anything about culture, you should simply write the definition of E.B. Tyler. The next definition you can go with Malinowski. Now this Bronislaw Malinowski was basically a functionalist. Now, what is this functionalist? He was classical evolutionist. So, what is this evolutionist? What is this functionalist? These topic will be dealing in the topics when we will be discussing theories. But basic things that you should understand is this, that you know that this is in line of evolution if we consider. So here the things are simple, here the things are complex, and much forward we'll be moving, the things will get complex, more complex and more complex, right? So this is basically evolution. So those who believe in this particular thing was evolutionist. Now there are certain particular things which are related with it that we will be discussing in theories only. Now, what is functionalist? So we can break down this word into function and list. So just don't worry about the list. Just focus on this word function. So those uh, scholars which work on this uh, initiative, work on this particular part where they are discussing about the functions. They are more of a concern that if there is a thing, what is its function? Okay, so basically this is it. It will be discussing more about the functional aspect. Okay, so anything which satisfies need is a culture. Then next is Herzkovitz. So Herzkovitz given a definition of culture as man-made part of environment. Okay, so these are some of the definition that was given by uh, every social scientists. Now, fine. So basically, you have to understand this thing. This is all about culture. If the definition is coming over here, so you should go with E.B. Tyler's definition. You can, if the question is related to culture and environment, then mostly prefer this definition. According to Herzkovitz, culture is nothing but man-made part of environment, and that is it. All right. Now moving forward. Okay. So you have to understand that what are the parts of culture, right? So first, there are some traits. These traits, they become complexes, and these complexes becomes patterns. Now, when there is an uh, question on cultural pattern, then you have to remember so many names. For example, Ruth Benedict. Okay, she has basically given Apollonian and Dionian. These are things that we will be discussing forward. You just need to have understanding that what we are going to deal and how we are going to deal. So Ruth Benedict is there. Then there is C.L. Strauss. He is also here. Okay, so this is all about cultural pattern, cultural complex, and cultural traits. Now, what individual it is? See, cultural trait is basically the smallest unit particle. The way we have atom as a smallest unit particle of everything, trait is basically that for the culture. Now, so many traits will combine to become a cultural complex, and so many complexes will lead to cultural pattern. Now this is basically a diagram that you need to make. Okay, you can make a triangle: cultural trait, cultural complex, and cultural pattern. So if you're making this sort of diagram, and this is the interaction between them, so you will fetch some 0.5 mark or 0.25 marks extra. So you can understand this thing that it is not that easy. It is definitely a good question. So you have to understand that you're making diagrams or something of that sort, so that first there are a lot of papers that you have to cover, like one, then other leaf, third leaf, and if it's 20 marker, you have to go to the fourth leaf. So even if question is over here and you're writing definition till here, then you need to make a diagram over here. And when you will be writing some points over here, then again you are moving to this point and you're concluding on this page. So you have to understand that you should have a diagram which will cover half of your page, and that is how you're going to complete the paper. Okay, next is nature. We had learned a word called as hung. Hung UD or Hung DU, Delhi University, you can do the way we did it. Okay, so H is historic, culture is historic. What do we mean by this? That what is culture and how it is historic? See, we have the culture from ancient civilization like Indus Valley civilization. We also have the culture, Harappan culture, Mohenjo-daro culture. We have Indus culture. We have Mesopotamians, Sumerian, and etc. Egyptian culture. So basically historic. Then second is holistic. So what do I mean by culture? Holistic is, see, if this is a culture, culture basically is central to man. And when I say man, please do not make it as a gender sensitive. Consider it to be human. That will be better. So basically, culture is something which is very much close to human, right? And that is how we can see that this culture become core for this human.
And if this thing is happening, then we have to understand that it is complete because it is touching every part. The way we had a definition of anthropology which touches biological, cultural, social aspect, and that is across time and space. So this is how the culture is also biological. Now what do I mean by biological is, no, it is not genetic. Okay, it is not something which we pass to the next generation through the genes, but it is something that is response to the climate. Okay, and if it is response to the climate, we have some biological adaptations towards it, which we will be doing in chapter 9, 10, 11, and 12. Particularly in chapter number 10 we'll be dealing with these things. Then cultural, by name it states. Then social, all the customs and etc are basically part of human life, and if it is a part of human life, it is definitely part of culture. So holistic. The next is unique. Culture is unique. If you move to certain part of the country, certain countries, you will find that they have unique culture. If you move across the geography, you will find this, there's no two culture which are exactly similar. So culture is nothing but, you can say, a response to environment. Response to environment. And if it is a response to environment, then you have to understand that environment is changing, right? Environment is dynamic, and if environment is changing, environment is dynamic, it means environment will not be repeated. And if environment is not repeated, responses towards it will also not repeat, and hence the circle continues. Culture is also universal, right? What do I mean by universal is a simple fact that everyone has culture. If you move to North America, even the Red Indians over there, this is the first mentioning of the tribe. Okay, Red Indians over there, they are also having their own culture. If you move to Australia, there are aborigines, they have their culture. If you move to Africa, then there is Bushman, they have their own culture. If you move to Siberia, they have various tribes like Chukchis, Tungus, etc. They have their culture. If you move to India, there are various tribes, and that too spread across, length breadth of the country. If you make a random map of India, I make good map, but this is basically difficult over here. Okay, so if you move to here, in the northern part, Bakarwal, right, uh, etc are over here, Gaddis are over here. Then here you will find the various tribes, Maldari tribes for example. Over here you will find Toda, Kota, etc over here, the Nagas, Mizos, and various tribal Apatanis, uh, Dafla, etc. All these tribal groups are over here. Here there are Unge, uh, Jarawa, sorry, there's Unge, Nikobari, Sentinelli. You might have heard about Sentinelli. So everyone are unique and everyone has their own culture. Okay, that is all I wanted to state over here. And NG, it means non-genetic. So what do I mean by non-genetic is the simple fact that if there is this XX and XY, and if these are making the two gametes, okay, and anyway if it is this child, then the cultural traits which were acquired by both will not be descended to this particular, it will have to acquire it, as the definition state, acquire it as a member of society. And this is basically, culture is dynamic, culture is diverse. Okay, And culture has this important, most important thing. If I have to say what is that most important thing, is this, that culture is basically culture has unity and diversity. Understood? So basically this is all about the nature of question, nature of culture. So if anything, if any sort of question which might come on this particular topic, you have to understand that this is how you are going to deal with it. All right, so this is basically was all about culture. Nature of culture is hung du, ठीक है, and then H stand for holistic, historic, U stand for unique, universal, NG is non-genetic. Okay, just hold on. Okay, so we'll be taking a break. After this, we will continue to the next video. Thank you for watching.